Hello, I'm Wendy Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Realizing Potential. Today I have with me in the studio colleagues here at Albany State University, and they want to discuss what they do so well here, which is to serve our veteran force. And so to my immediate right, I have Chris Simmons, and then, I'm sorry, not my immediate right, my far right, I have Chris Simmons, and to my immediate right, I have Miss Santee Archer. How are you both today?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for joining me today. Ms. Archer, I'll start with you. Santee, tell us a little bit about what your role is here at Albany State University and the impact that you desire to make.
Okay, I'm the Veteran Student Success Director.
Okay.
And what I like to do is to inform more veterans about our program and how we could help them matriculate to graduation.
Okay.
That's my hope and dream, to make sure all of our veterans start and finish.
Great. Okay. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the initiatives or the activities or the efforts that you actually employ on a daily basis to see that come to fruition. Mr. Simmons, tell us a little bit about your role. I know you guys are partners in crime, if you will. You work daily, but tell me what you specifically do as it relates to veterans.
So my official title is the Coordinator of Veteran Success. So what I do specifically is also support Ms. Archer as the Director. But specifically, I do a lot of outreach and recruiting. So I try to go out to different areas in town where I think veterans are heavily populated with veterans, such as your VFWs, your Department of Labor. They have veteran counselors in there, so I coordinate with them. And also there is a vocational rehab location here in Albany for veterans. So we try to make partnerships with them so that we can try to get those students, those veterans who want to attend college, get them enrolled at ASU.
Excellent. Now, are you also, I know Santee is a veteran. Are you also a veteran?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay.
I'm retired Navy, 21 years in the United States Navy.
Okay, great. And Army.
Yes.
All righty.
Cool.
I love it. That certainly helps. People want to be able to connect and identify. Mm-hmm. So Albany State was certainly made wise decisions in identifying individuals who can help to relate as they try to share the message of education. How long have you all been with Albany State University?
I initially started when it was Darton, at the Darton campus in another capacity.
Okay.
And so I started there in 2015.
Okay, great. You wear many hats too. Yeah, teaching classes, instructor. Yeah, very good. And how about you, Mr. Simmons?
As of July of 2017, I came aboard ASU.
Okay, great. Good deal. So you're working on your year.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So share the benefits of getting an education with veterans, why you try to impart or educate them on the value. Well, oftentimes you'll run across retirees who are maybe dependent upon that retiree salary, but still trying to discover what the next aspect of their life will bring. And so how do you then infuse how education can support that?
Well, mostly when someone, even if they decide to stay in the military until they retire, most people are retiring around age 38. So there's life after the military. And so it is very imperative to get an education to move forward with your life, because there's so much more living and there's so much more to be done. And so we would like to encourage them to get a degree, just in case they're not able to find something that is in their field of work or their MOS, what they did before. So education is imperative, just like it is for everyone. Sure. But we want to make sure that our former military people understand that perhaps you won't be able to find employment in your former MOS. So you need to find something new to do, and it's time to start that second career, your second phase of life, and we're here to help you do it.
Great, great. And so what type of attention do you all provide for those individuals? So I'll put myself in that role, and so I'm trying to learn more about Albany State University, and certainly coming out of, or will always be a veteran, leaving the military behind, or having completed that portion of my life. So how will you support me in that effort? What does that look like?
Well, I'll use myself as an example,
Okay.
and I'll go back to the previous question just briefly. As an example, being in the military and education helps you with advancement. Those kind of things help. It helps increase your opportunities within the military if you want to do something different, or apply for various officer programs if you're enlisted, and so on. Those things are imperative in the military as well as when you get out of the military, because obviously one day you have to leave the military.
Sure.
And you want to be prepared for that transition into civilian life, and education definitely levels the playing field for you, because you've been in the military for X amount of years. You're accustomed to doing things a certain way. And when you come out of the military, you find that things are done differently in the civilian life. So going back to school and obtaining the education helps you make that transition back into the civilian lifestyle, and helps you with acquiring a job that may complement your other skills that you learned in the military. So as what we do specifically to do that is when we talk to our veteran students or military affiliated students, we try to relay that information to them, give them that message that it is different out here once you get out of the military, or if you're military affiliated as a spouse or so on, something like that. Having that education when your spouse or service member transfers to a different location, you have kind of a broken history of employment, which is difficult for our military spouses to do. Having an education or degree helps with that, because they can take that degree anywhere they go. So that's what I find that's important, and I try to stress that to our veterans and our military affiliated students.
Great, great. Education is a great equalizer.
Absolutely.
It is, it is. I haven't taught in a while, but Ms. Archer, you kind of weigh into this. And Mr. Simmons, I'm not sure if you also teach, but I always could tell veterans when they were in my classroom, because they bring a level of discipline and an order, and that would sometimes, or you would hope that it would be contagious, and certainly a level of maturity. So I always enjoy them being in my class. Now, however, for that student, it may be a little frustrating, because oftentimes we have the range of students. So we have those that are just graduated from high school who may not have those experiences or that level of maturity. So I can imagine sometimes that it may be a little frustrating for that this type of student, the veteran in the classroom, because you're trying to assimilate and adapt, and because you have such a broad range of types of students, if you will. So how do you help them with the acclimation or the assimilation process into the social piece in particular? Because I think they usually have and I could be wrong, but the discipline is there, so they get the commitment that they need to bring to the classroom, and certainly earning the college degree. But it's that social. How do you all support that?
We try to help them understand that their military experience has given them a different perspective on life.
Okay.
And we hope that they would bring that to the table as mentors to our younger students.
Great.
So we have to encourage them to not become frustrated if they're in a class and they're with people who are young adults who don't have the discipline or the life experiences that they've had, to become that mentor in the classroom, and not necessarily stand up and hold your hand up and say, hey, I'm a mentor, you everybody, but just to show the example of how they interact with the professor and how you interact with other students. Because in the military, we're always taught to be ambassadors. So if we're ambassadors on the battlefield, or wherever your duty station was, you can also be ambassador in the classroom to help other students along the way, and encourage other students that what you think is difficult is really not that difficult.
Sure.
So here's how you can get that accomplished. So that's the role we try to help them understand, is that people look up to you whether you realize it or not.
That's right.
And people realize you are a veteran whether you think they know you're a veteran or not.
I know. They
So people
stand
look
out.
up to you just
Right.
because of your service, and we hope that they embrace that and take that on.
Outstanding.
Well, also with our veterans, mostly they're non-traditional students, and it is kind of hard for them to acclimate with the regular college life.
Yes.
And so our program will provide a place for them out as well to hang out with other veterans. We have a lab, we have a lounge. So when they feel bogged down with school work, they can come to a place where they can feel comfortable with people who are just like them, other veterans and military affiliated students. Also, to help them acclimate, we offer a series of workshops that will help you in your civilian life or in your transitioning from military to civilian life. We offer a range of things from goal setting to transitioning, disability help. We also would like to help those who may be suffering from PTSD, which is very common these days.
Yes.
So we have a series of workshops that we also do for our veterans, and we've been hosting those over the past year, and of course we'd like for more people to come out and participate with those things. And those things will help you to acclimate to college life as well, and to also introduce those veterans and military affiliated students to other activities on campus. We'd like to see more veterans involved in things that are going on with student affairs.
Okay.
Yes.
Different activities. When I was serving in a different capacity, and I too at the time was at Darton, and it was the creation of the lounge, which was targeting our veterans. And one of the things that came out when we had the ribbon cutting ceremony is that it offered a haven or a place, if you will, for them to kind of retreat. And one of the subjects or the topics that came up was post-traumatic stress syndrome. And sometimes you just need that quiet space to regroup and to focus. Everybody doesn't want to embark upon the student center, and it's just so much going on at once, and you need to be able to step away from that or go into an environment that will allow you to, again, just kind of focus and stay centered in the moment. So I was very proud that, and I'm sure it's changed since then, because we've been going through some construction on the West Campus. I don't even know if it's still in the same location.
Actually, it's not.
Okay. Okay.
We do have one downstairs C building, and perhaps in about the next month we'll have a brand new one upstairs in the C building in our newly renovated spot. So we're excited about that coming along.
Very good.
And most of the military affiliated and veteran students love it because it kind of gives them the environment of a USO lounge, as if they were in the airport or somewhere. Yes. And they love it.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I can't wait to see that. That's great. You mentioned earlier, before we get started actually with the taping of this segment or this show, that there is an event coming up. You all have an orientation as it relates to veterans it's coming up soon, or is that just something that you do on a regular basis?
We're actually going to have an open house next. Yes.
Okay.
And we're trying to get more students involved with our military student organization. And so we have been speaking with our new president of the organization, and she's excited and ready to go and ready to get more people just like her to come out and join us in the camaraderie.
Okay, good. And what are some of the activities that they do in terms of engagement with one another?
Well, right now we do have the series of workshops that we're trying to get them to participate in, and we'll be planning some field trips and things of that nature to help them as well.
Good. I know oftentimes, and this is just common with non-traditional students, which is good, but you also want them to understand that there's different components to the whole college experience besides just going to class, getting your instruction. And as Mr. Simmons said earlier, we all have a responsibility in terms of being the example for one another. So that's, I'm sure, one of the reasons why you want them to interact and engage with other students, because of that example, and not just go to class, make those A's, and then leave campus. So having intentional programming, I know will support that. How can veterans reach out to you all? I know you all you have the outreach component, so you go to them, but if they wanted to make some inquiries and find out about the services that you offer, what's the point of contact?
We're on the West Campus.
Okay.
We were on both East and West, but now we're centrally located on the West Campus in the C building, and we're both in Suite C103, and we can be reached through a phone or email, or just stop by and see us, and we'll be happy to talk to anyone who's military affiliated, to include spouses, children of military, because they also have a time adjusting as well to the new environment of college. So we're here for all of them.
Outstanding, outstanding. Our outgoing president, Dr. Dunning, was always proud of the work that you all did, because he also is a veteran.
Absolutely.
And would always speak to the value of that, certainly that experience, but the experience that followed that, which was to achieve a college education. So that's very important. So the open house is scheduled when, and where will that be located?
As soon as our new spot is completely
Okay,
renovated
gotcha,
in
gotcha.
March,
Okay.
we're moving in while the students are out on spring break. We'll be moving into our new location then, and so it will happen shortly thereafter. So
Okay.
look out for any announcements, signs, signage telling you exactly when that will be, because we're still moving in the renovated spot.
I understand. Well, do get us that information. We'll be sure to get it on Channel 19 and the radio
Absolutely.
station, and help to market that. Any parting words in terms of really just I think I would not want individuals, those veterans, to miss the opportunity that your the next phase of your life. And you're right, veterans are graduating not graduating, but leaving service at early within their life. And so what's the next phase? What's the next step? Because there's still much more living to do, and certainly giving of yourself. And so education helps with that. So let's speak with them as some parting words that you want to share with them in terms of making Albany State the one-stop shop, if you will, to help you start that next phase of your journey.
Well, we would like to them to come see us and take part in all the benefits that we have to help them with. That's the big thing. And I think one thing, as we were talking about the services that we offer, we want to also mention that we have our Career Center has done a wonderful job in creating a resume workshop for the veterans, and a workshop that includes federal employment resumes and applications. So that's another great benefit of coming to see us. If you're looking for employment, sometimes as service members, we write in acronyms based on the branch of service that we were in. And it's hard to decipher a resume when you're giving it to someone who's not affiliated with the military. So we found that, and even in my own experience, I found that. And luckily, I had someone to say, hey, okay, we had to change this around a little bit and use some words that everybody understands. And so I think that's a great benefit that we can offer them as well. If they're coming out there looking for employment as they are graduating from their programs, they could definitely benefit from that area of career services that we have. So we just want them to come out and participate. That's the big thing. We're trying to get them involved in other things, because we know having students involved with the university, that attachment, it's worth the benefit of it.
Indeed, indeed. And as we started off with, that's certainly a huge part of the whole retention piece, being able to feel connected. That certainly diminishes attrition and loss of students. We want them to be able to come in, have a wonderful experience, and certainly then graduate having earned a degree, and then establishing again that lifelong example to what a college degree can provide for you in the Albany State University experience.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. Well, continued success. Great selection in terms of who to lead that charge with our veterans and get them on board, if you will, as students, and then the ultimate goal to then transition as graduates of Albany State University.
Absolutely.
Good. Well, know that you're always welcome to come back anytime. Let us know when you get that date for that open house, and we'll be happy to promote that. And next time we have you all are certainly veterans, but we'll have to invite you back, and then have actually one of the veterans that is also a student here. So we'll have to mention a new president. So we'll have to have her accompany you next time and get that perspective.
Awesome.
Good, good. All righty. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you.
Viewers, thank you so much for joining me for this edition of Realizing Potential. I'm Wendy Wilson, and I will see you next time.